Hey, welcome back, friends. If you want to join the friends, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Today, I've been looking over some of the Master Clue Scroll rewards, and there's actually quite a few different items that are extremely useful just for your everyday RuneScape career. So I kind of want to go over some of the rewards that you can get from Master Clue Scrolls. Obviously, you can just buy all these off of the GE, so you don't need to actually do Master Clue Scrolls to actually get these. But these are going to be all the items that have a practical use, not a cosmetic use, just a practical use in RuneScape. First up is going to be obviously the Elemental Battle Staff. A lot of people have heard about this, but I've been doing my research and it does have a couple of uses. Elemental Battle Staff obviously provides you with all of the elemental runes. So that doesn't seem super useful due to the fact that there already is combination battle staves. I know that the Mystic Steam Battle Staff or any of the Steam staves, they provide you with water and fire runes. There's obviously the lava as well as the fire plus water, which is the steam, and then water plus earth is going to be mud battle staff. You've noticed that there is no air plus anything battle staff. This is going to be the basically only use of the elemental battle staff. Is going to be either with combat skills. With the normal spellbook, you could be using the Fire Wave, Fire Surge spell, all those spells. Unfortunately, it is only a tier 30 battle staff, so that means it definitely decreases the use as a combat battle staff. I guess if you're only using tier 30 at the time, this may have a use. Honestly, though, for a combat battle staff, probably not the best. So that leaves us with the skilling battle staffs. So it is useful for things such as humidify or magic imbue, other things like that that do use multiple elemental runes. Unfortunately, nothing actually uses 3 elemental runes, so that means it doesn't have any use in that case as of right now. If they add extra spells that do need more than just 2 elemental runes, this may actually become more useful in the future. It's never going to be a good combat staff, but it may be more useful for a skilling staff. The only real use that there is right now is going to be Super Glass Make. It does require 10 air runes and 6 fire runes to cast the Super Glass Make. This is the only spell that actually uses air plus another elemental rune, except for combat spells. So the only actual use is going to be the Super Glass Make spell. That unfortunately is only going to be making about 2.5 million GP per hour. So as of right now, it doesn't really have a whole lot of uses, but it's something to keep in the back of your mind just in case if in the future there is something that uses multiple elemental runes. Next up is going to be something that everybody should be getting if you're doing high level combat. Soul Ornament Kit. Let's go ahead and check out the stats of the Amulet of Souls. It gives you 46 stats in strength, range, and magic bonus, 5 prayer bonus, and it's a hybrid type. When you add on this ornament kit, it actually increases all the bonuses to 48. Now, this does come at a relatively high cost. Obviously, it's not going to show you the cost right here. But if you check this out, it does cost you about 41 million GP. For a plus 2 bonus, is relatively minor bonus. But if you're doing high-level combat, this may be the difference between whether or not you have to hit 1 extra time, or if you're just barely able to get some kills, this may actually be the difference between whether you get a kill. So if you're going for best in slot, the Amulet of Souls is no longer best in slot. You are going to want to add a Soul Ornament Kit to it. They do come at a high price, unfortunately. There is also the option of getting a Reaper Necklace Ornament Kit. Obviously, Reaper Necklace isn't used nearly as much now that there's Aura Escape and everything, so it does do the same exact thing. It just gives you plus 2 bonuses to strength, range, and magic bonus. At a relatively high cost, not for everybody, but if you're doing high-level combat, definitely something to look into getting. Next up is going to be the Heated Tea Flask. Now, this is going to be basically an unlimited supply of tea. Tea does only heal you 375 life points, so it is technically an unlimited food source. It does have a 2-minute cooldown, but at only 375 LP that it actually provides you every single 2 minutes, this is just bad. in that case. If you compare it to the anniversary cake, that provided you like 2200 LP healing every 3 minutes. So that was much better, and I think they had it for a week or two that you were able to use that. This is not even close to that. Honestly, I don't think it's even worth thinking about as a food slot. The reason why we're going to want to be thinking about it, though, is if you... Hopefully I have an aggression potion in my bank somewhere. There it is. If you have an aggression potion active, you see that I have a 6-minute dose left of aggression potion. Whenever you drink tea, it actually gets rid of the aggression potion status. It does have a 2-minute cooldown, like I just said, but it does get rid of aggression potions. So, reason why we're going to want to be getting this is if you are using aggression potions during Slayer, if you are using Morvaran, there are a lot of elves around Morvaran, so whenever you would teleport to Morvaran, you'd automatically be hit by all those elves. This heated tea flask is going to make it so that you can get rid of the aggression potion, and going to make it so that you can actually go back to Morvaran and get a task immediately, even though you are using aggression potions. Now, this is obviously a very niche use. Obviously, there are more uses for getting rid of aggression potion if you just have an aggression potion and you're just done using it for some reason. Like you got a level 12 equipment and you're just trying to use invention. You're trying to train up at abyssal demons or something like that. There are multiple uses of it, and it only costs you about 1 million GP right now, and it's going down in price. So in the future, it may be even cheaper than it is right now. But the heated tea flask is definitely something that you are going to want to look into. Next up is going to be the Elemental Impetus. As you can see, I have a Mystic Steam staff in my inventory. It is a level 40 staff. With the Elemental Impetus, you can actually upgrade that to a level 82. I am going to do that because this is actually relatively cheap to do. It requires level 75 crafting, gives you 800 crafting experience, so not really a good way of training up, and does require a couple of talismans as well. It only costs you, it says 7 million, I bought it for like 3 or 4 million GP, this is not going for that price. You craft it into a steam staff of limitless whatever staff you want. You can use steam, mud, lava, those are going to be your best bets, but then you could also use water, air, earth, or fire. I personally would recommend using one of these other types. And one thing I do want to note is you unfortunately cannot actually upgrade the elemental battle staff into a staff of limitless elements. That would be wonderful. I would love it if they actually included that in the future. That would make these elemental impetuses a lot better. But as for right now, basically you just upgrade it to a tier 82. It makes it non-tradable, and it is degrade to dust, unfortunately. It does obviously make a tier 82 staff. If you think about it, though, there's not really another above tier 80 staff that is relatively easy to get, that you can buy relatively cheaply. This is going to be, in my opinion, the best staff to use if you are on a budget. Obviously, it's not going to have a GE price right now, but it is a tier 82 staff that is probably going to be better than whatever you're using. And you don't have to do engineering to get a chaotic or anything. If you already do have a noxious staff or a tier 85 staff, this is obviously going to be useless. But if you are a mid-level player that doesn't quite have enough money to get something above a tier 80 staff, this is going to be a relatively cheap option. It's very similar to the tier 90 power armor, where you do pay a relatively high cost per usage, but it has a low initiation cost. So during the time that you're using this, you probably would be able to make more than enough to basically surpass how much it's actually worth that you are degrading. And if you're using it over a tier 80 or even a tier 75, if that's the best you had before this, it's definitely worth using over that. One last thing that I do want to mention is Golden Thread. Unfortunately, these are worth a little bit more than the Impetus. They're 13.5 mil going up in price, and they upgrade a Robin Hood outfit to a tier 82 outfit, power armor. This is going to be the best power armor that you could probably buy nowadays. The previous best was probably the God of War's Dungeon 2 armor set. Reason why I'm not actually going to be doing this is because God of War Dungeon 2 is non-degradable tier 80, And if you want to, you can upgrade that to a tier 85 for relatively cheaply degradable. This is going to be pretty equivalent to the Zamrak. The only downside to using the tier 85 instead of the tier 82 from this is that it is going to cost you a little bit more to get into the tier 85 because you do have to buy the initial Anima Core outfit, which does cost you a decent amount of money. It's a lot more expensive than the Robin Hood outfit, but it's going to obviously cost a lot less for the amount of uses that you actually have. So I would recommend using the tier 85 Anima Core or actually using the tier 90 power armors instead of the Robin Hood at tier 82. Only reason why you'd want to really be using that is for the cosmetic look of it. I think it actually looks pretty good, but in all, it's probably not worth using. In my opinion, the things that I am going to use in the future, if I were a low-level accountant and was looking for a cheaper staff, tier 82 staff would be relatively good. I personally am going to keep the heated tea flask just because it's a cheap option to get rid of your aggression, so you don't have to be constantly carrying around cups of tea with you or whatever. Soul Ornament Kit, I'm debating between this. I don't use the Soul Amulet that much, so I'm not sure if it's going to be worth it for me to actually upgrade the Soul Amulet or not. Obviously, you can split it back and forth whenever you'd like to, so if you just want to use it for a couple of days to test out at Araxor or something like that, and then if you don't like Araxor, you could always sell this kit again. The high initiation cost into buying this, I think, makes it not worth it. I am going to keep the Elemental Battle Staff just so I can get rid of all the other Battle Staffs that I have in my inventory, or in my bank, for 2 million to essentially be able to throw out at least 3 Battle Staffs, possibly 4 if you're also keeping the Air Battle Staff. Essentially, you're just making 3 bank space for 2 million GP. That's the way I'm going to see it, and if you happen to be wanting to use the Super Glass Make spell, this is extremely useful. Saves you, I think, about 400,000 or 500,000 GP per hour. Makes it a lot better GP per hour. All in all, these 3 items are probably going to be the ones I use the most. Because I have the Battle Staff already, I may use that as well, and the Golden Thread I'm probably just going to sell immediately. If you guys do have any other suggestions on what you would like to use from the Master Clue Scrolls, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below so you can see all my future content. Leave a comment in the comment section so that I know exactly which ones you're talking about. Also leave a like if you enjoy this video. As always though, have a good one.